Hello, beautiful souls. Any messages that you're about to hear are not date specific. That's because energy is not only fluid, but we are all on different timelines and paths. If you feel you've been guided to this or any other video and it resonates, please know the message may be for you. The energy I receive sometimes comes in massive downloads, while other times it may be very fleeting. I rely on spirit to allocate exactly what it is I need to help convey in circumstances, situations, or relationships. I do my best to act as a vessel to help communicate what is best needed for the current moment. Above all else, please know it has not only been a privilege, but an amazing opportunity to work with the collective, as we are all together working to navigate our way through this thing we call life. And as always, I'm sending so much love and light. Hey, beautiful souls. I am personally super excited about today's message. So a few days ago, I felt an energy shift. I give you guys an energy update saying that I think we're getting a taste of the karma, what's happening. And I'm going to just say the energies have been intense. And this is probably a terrible analogy, and I can't come up with anything different. But when we hit full moons, for me, personally, it feels like a menstrual cycle. It just feels like that time of the month. And it is to a certain extent. The veil becomes super thin. And connecting with our spirit guides, angels, divine, is the most potent, at least for me. And it has been that way for quite a while. I've had some of the most amazing experiences through full moons. But, like a menstrual cycle, there's a few days before the actual flood, and then you have the spotting out. That is a terrible analogy. But it's Mother Nature. That's about how we are, right? So that's my full moon. So it hit me a few days ago. I gave you guys that update, and I'm not kidding you. The energies have been super intense, and my own emotional roller coaster has been up and down. I've been picking up on things. Gave a personal message yesterday, and I know the pressure has been applied, which can make us feel very, God, it was almost like, it's like an outcast, feeling out of place, out of sorts. And if you haven't felt it, maybe you will. I mean, energy is very fluent, depending on where we're at, but there are also subtle things that could be happening that we may not be aware of. And as I'm sitting here putting these pieces together, I think I have an idea, and then having conversation. So to give you guys an idea of what I'm talking about, again, emotions are just high and low, and I'm learning to ride the wave like everybody else. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been in tears on and off for the last 3 days. And on top of it, dreams have been intense. And I know I'm not the only one. Dreams have just been affecting a lot of us. It's because I believe those energies, the veils are kind of shifting, and there's messages trying to get through our collective, our conscious, our subconscious. What does that all mean? Well, yesterday, I'm having a moment, and I'm crying, and I'm just letting the tears roll. And I don't say that out of pity. I just, when it comes, you just let it flow, right? And my son gets home, and I've tried very hard to keep an open relationship with him, in that I don't want to suppress him and make him think that, because I think that is the dynamic, right? We want to show up as the strong and protective and take care of our children, and we don't cry and whatnot. Well, I've tried to create a very safe haven for him and I, so that he knows that it's okay to cry. There's reasons that emotions flow, and even adults can have tears come. However, so he comes home, bless his little soul. I'm laying down, and I'm being open about it, and he just wraps his arms around me. I love him. He's amazing, and says something very profound. He says, "It's okay, Mom. It means you're healing." And that hit me. And that didn't hit me fully until maybe roughly about an hour ago. as I'm recording. And what I mean by this is that there are dots that are always happening in our healing and our growth and our evolution and breaking old habitual patterns or our norms that we've been raised into on a continuous basis. However, we're not fully aware of that until moments like this. And I'm wondering if that may be what's happening as we're having some pressure applied. 3 years ago, I heard a wonderful speaker, and she spoke about being authentic. And in that authenticity, we have emotions. Well, those emotions are there because usually they're trying to tell us something. And it hit me so profoundly. I went out to my car and I started bawling. And in that moment, I caught myself and I literally told myself, I was so firm. Pull yourself together. Are you physically hurt? And then I remember her words. Like, there's a reason. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be open and graceful to this. And then I realized I had told my son this. These are the exact words that that I'm telling myself in my head while I'm in my car crying 3 years ago, that I've told my son. And I had started telling him that when he was 3, which are the most imperative times of development for a child, which put me even further down to guilt and just bursting into tears. And after that, I came home and I've been working really hard to repair that and thinking I might have been screwed because at this time he was like 8 and thinking, now that's probably forever in his head and I probably screwed him over and and then yesterday for him to come in and hug me while I'm having this moment and say those things 3-4 years later here at 12. And then now I'm connecting those dots. Holy shit. I have been able to break a pattern. When was the last time you cried, guys? When was the last time you cried and not scold, like you didn't scold yourself? You know, the words of why are you crying? Are you physically hurt? Big boys, big girls don't cry. That's not something that we are born with. That's something we've been programmed with. And bear with me because this has a bigger picture of it. I'm just using this as an example because when we say we have to become consciously aware, are we fully consciously aware? Because these things happen in this split of the moment and they are in our subconscious. It's a part of our upbringing. We don't think twice about it. But this is the beauty of what I'm bringing forward. So that just connected. Like, holy shit, I think I just broke a pattern. And wherever I heard those words was a pattern from somebody else that got it. And it was probably from my parents or one of my parental guidances or something who only heard that from theirs. I mean, that's how the generation thing goes, right? And it's up to us to decipher, like, identify it and then be able to break it. And I give myself kudos. I think I may have just broke that because for my son to come say that, that means that for his generation, for my grandbabies, potentially one day, hopefully, they'll know it's safe to cry. Do you know that our body naturally knows how to heal wounds, right? I've got a cut. That sucker was, well, it was a burn, but it is forming new skin and it's going to heal. When we have an inkling to cry, we actually have endorphins that are released in our brain. There's a reason we are being prompted to cry. However, we've been programmed to think beyond that. So, bringing that all full circle, and I don't want this to be terribly long, but it's probably going to be, because that's what connected all of this. So what are these pressures we're feeling right now? We're going into a full moon, and it's not just a regular full moon, it has an eclipse coming, and it's in Cancer, which is a full moon in Cancer, which is very, not only known for their, Cancer is very psychic, very close to those veils, and very emotional. And I'll just have you guys know, my full moon is my moon sign is in Cancer. Not that means anything. Other than I think that might be why it seems much more intense. I'm not sure. But, so I had those connected. So I'm going in going, what is these pressures? Because yesterday's download I got, somebody was feeling out of sort. And Spirit was very defiant. Like, hey, you hang in there. We're not done. And it took me through a whirlwind. And that's exactly what's happening. And if this correlates now or down the road, you tell me. But the messages I'm getting, as I read my notes, is we are being asked, there has been awakening somewhere. And now you can no longer hide that, whatever that may be. This is just small example of mine of how can we bring our conscious awareness to change those habits if we're not fully aware. However, there are things that you already have been awakened to that is of your raw, true essence of who you are. However, the programming that our beautiful society has put us in has made us feel outcast, like we don't fit, like crying, but that is a part of our natural state. And I think that maybe some of the pressures that we're feeling right now, or you might be feeling, or maybe coming out to feel, again, energy is fluid, but and it's like being asked us, we are being dared, that's the pressure, to cultivate that gift, to dare to honor your uniqueness is what I wrote down. Which it brought me to the other thing. Impossible is just an opinion, meaning that possible can be, in fact, a fact. Now, that's just an analogy, but it opens the world for possibilities. And in being who you are, do you realize how safe you create for the others around you to follow suit? So again, like, here's my son, who, that poor child, first heard my lecture of, why are you crying? Because that's when he was a toddler. I just remember that. We were going head to head. Why are you crying? Are you physically hurt? And that was being programmed at such a young age. However, by coming forward, releasing those and creating that safe spot, you're also doing the same for others around you. You are help liberating the collective. And I just thought that was absolutely beautiful. So in other words, it's okay to be an outcast, because in the sense you are giving the nurturing and encouraging others. I think I got done saying that. But so if you're feeling the pressure, it's because I think Spirit's really asking you to liberate yourself. You can hide it for so long, but when you know who you are at the essence of who you are, it no longer, who are you serving? What does it serve? Does it serve your highest good? If you know at the heart of hearts of your intentions of who you are, and it's pure loving, why would you hide that? It's okay for diversity. It's okay for us to have different spots or different opinions. But honor who you are and know that in doing so, you're going to collect. You're going to attract. You're going to attract the right people, the right resources. You'll watch your world begin to manifest, but it's very uncomfortable. And I think that I'm repeating myself, sorry. But it's huge. So the other images that came to my mind to cultivate this, whether that means going into meditation or dancing or singing, but harness this uniqueness, this beautiful thing that which you are. It's for the time to break free. And in the process, find ways to cultivate that. That's what I'm trying to get at. So if it means doodling, journaling, meditating, whatever, but keep that. And be sure, like right now, it may feel like you are being in the outcast or unaccepted by being who you are. Cultivate that and watch as you stand in your truth. Spirit, the universe, the energies will begin to align and you will begin to see the manifestations of it. However, right now, to make that transition, you've got to step out of that comfort zone. And lastly, as I come up over this 13-minute mark, ultimately, everything you do from here on out, start trying to start the alignment from the inside to match your outside, rather from the outside to mold to the inside. You are who you are. And you were designed perfectly the way you are. It's time, no matter what age you are, to shift from the old paradigm into that which is your originality, which is absolutely beautiful. I have so much love, guys. We still have till the 10th before the full moon and eclipse takes place, but I thought those were great connectors. I hope that helps somebody. So when we're thinking about how can we become conscious, be aware those dots may have already taken place years back and are now just starting to show up. Look for those signs. I have so much love for you guys, as always. Till next time.